everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. It's great to have you here. Today, we're talking about something we all know very well: fear. But we're not talking about the usual fears like spiders, heights, or flying. Today, we're going somewhere much stranger. Fear of balloons. Fear of numbers. Fear of holes. And even fear connected to long words. Some of these fears may sound funny or unusual, but for people who experience strong phobias, the fear can be very real. So get comfortable, turn up the volume, and let's discover some of the strangest fears people can experience. This is Unusual Phobias. Let's get started. Let's start with something you often see at birthday parties: balloons. For most people, balloons are colorful, fun, and harmless. But some people have a strong fear of balloons. One reason can be the sound. You know, that sudden pop. Your body reacts before your brain has time to think. Your heart jumps. You turn around. And then you realize it's just a balloon. For someone with a strong fear, however, that reaction can be much more intense. They may feel nervous around balloons. They may avoid parties with lots of balloons. Even seeing a balloon being inflated can make them uncomfortable. And honestly, balloons can be unpredictable. They're floating around, they're moving with the air, and nobody knows exactly when one might pop. So the brain may treat the balloon like a possible danger. Of course, the balloon isn't really dangerous in most situations. But fear doesn't always follow logic. That's one of the most interesting things about phobias. Now let's move from balloons to something even more surprising: numbers. Yes, some people can have a strong fear of particular numbers. One famous example is the number 13. The fear of 13 is called triskaidekaphobia. It's one reason why some buildings skip the 13th floor. You might see 11, 12, and you might ask, where's 13? Well, it's still there. The building just doesn't want to talk about it. But 13 isn't the only number connected to fear. The number 666 is also associated with a specific fear. And there's a very long name for it. Honestly, the name itself might be more frightening than the number. Some people may avoid certain dates, room numbers, addresses, or other situations connected to a number they fear. It may sound strange, but our brains can create strong emotional reactions to very simple things. A number is just a number, but sometimes our brain gives it a completely different meaning. Now we're moving into something that many people find uncomfortable: small holes in groups, a sponge, a honeycomb, certain plants, bubbles, or patterns with many small circles close together. For some people, looking at these patterns can create a very strong reaction. This is often called trypophobia. And here's the interesting part. The reaction isn't always simple fear. Some people describe it as discomfort. Others say it feels like disgust. Some people even say it gives them chills or makes them want to look away immediately. And maybe you've experienced something similar. You see a strange picture online. you look at it for 1 second, and your brain says, nope. You close the image immediately. What's fascinating is that the holes themselves are usually harmless. A sponge is not dangerous. A flower is not dangerous. Bubbles in a drink are definitely not dangerous. Yet the brain reacts as if something is wrong. Why? Scientists are still studying this question. One idea is that certain patterns resemble things humans have learned to avoid over thousands of years. Some dangerous animals, poisonous creatures, skin diseases, or infections can have similar visual patterns. So the brain may react automatically before we even have time to think. It's like an alarm system that works very, very fast. Sometimes too fast. The brain sees a pattern and immediately says, stay away. Even when there's no actual danger. And honestly, our brains do this all the time. A sudden sound? Turn around immediately. Something moves in the corner of your eye? Look at it instantly. A strange pattern? Maybe avoid it. The brain is always trying to protect us. The problem is that sometimes it becomes a little overprotective. It's like having a smoke detector that starts making noise because someone made toast. Nothing is wrong, but the alarm still goes off. And that tells us something important. Fear isn't always logical. Sometimes it's fast, automatic, and very difficult to control. Which, in a strange way, makes the human brain one of the biggest mysteries of all. Now, let's talk about something especially interesting for English learners. Words. Yes, words. Most of us use thousands of words every day without thinking about them. We read them, we hear them, we speak them. But for some people, words themselves can create anxiety. There's a term called logophobia, which refers to fear or anxiety related to words. And then we have one of the most famous examples on the internet, hippopotomonstrosesquipedaliophobia. Take a moment to look at that word. It's huge. It feels less like a word and more like a train that never stops. And here's the funny part. This extremely long word is often used as a humorous term for the fear of long words. Who created this? It's like creating a fear of loud sounds and naming it super mega ultra explosion phobia. Not exactly helpful. But long words can be challenging, even for people without any fear. English learners know this very well. You learn a short word like cat. Great. Then you learn beautiful. Still okay. And suddenly English says, congratulations. Here is a 36-letter word. Thanks, English. Very kind. Of course, not every strange phobia name on the internet is an officially recognized medical condition. The internet loves unusual facts, and sometimes it loves making things sound more dramatic than they really are. You can find lists with hundreds of strange fears. Fear of beards, fear of buttons, fear of mirrors, fear of the color yellow. Some of these are real experiences. Some are humorous terms. And some become popular simply because people enjoy talking about unusual things. So it's always a good idea to check reliable sources before believing everything online. But here's the truly interesting part. Words are powerful. A word can make you laugh. A word can make you angry. A word can remind you of a memory. And sometimes, a word can create anxiety. That shows how closely language, emotions, and the brain are connected. And honestly, that's pretty amazing. So far, we've talked about balloons, numbers, holes, and very long words. Some of these fears sound unusual, some sound funny, and some are surprisingly relatable. But there's an important question. When does a fear become a real problem? Simply disliking something doesn't automatically mean you have a phobia. Maybe you don't like balloons because they're noisy. Maybe you avoid horror movies. Maybe you don't enjoy looking at strange patterns. That's normal. Everyone has things they dislike. A phobia is different. A phobia can create intense anxiety. It can affect daily life. It can make ordinary situations feel difficult. Someone may avoid certain places, certain activities, or certain experiences because of that fear. And that's why we should be careful not to laugh at people who have serious phobias. The fear may seem strange from the outside, but for the person experiencing it, it feels completely real. And that tells us something important about the human brain. Fear is not a weakness. Fear is actually a survival system. For thousands of years, fear helped humans stay alive. A dangerous animal? Danger. A storm? Danger. A risky situation? Be careful. Fear is like an alarm. Most of the time, it works very well. But sometimes the alarm becomes too sensitive.
A balloon? Danger! A number? Danger! A pattern of holes? Danger! A very Long English word? Run for your life! The brain can be dramatic. Very dramatic. But that's also what makes it fascinating. The same brain that creates music, builds cities, learns languages, and explores space can also become nervous because of a balloon. Humans are complicated, and maybe that's why we never stop learning about ourselves. Because sometimes the biggest mysteries aren't hidden in the ocean or in space. They're inside our own minds.
Thanks for listening. Stay curious and maybe keep an eye on those suspicious balloons.